right, so now we're going to be talking about Ethereum, but before we do so, please make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, right? Make sure to hit the subscribe button right there as we're bringing you constant TA about the hottest cryptocurrencies in the market. Also, please follow us on Twitter. You can follow me at Ali_charts. You can follow also Akash, Macinco with a zero at the end. And you can follow also our co-host, Jonathan, Just Analysis One. So Ethereum, it's quite interesting what Ethereum is doing, right? Because basically the on-chain metrics, they're a little bit, how can we say this? I mean, they're not really giving you a clear outlook. Like, for example, the number of active addresses on the network, they had a significant downswing, right? Basically on October 7th, where it went down to 362,000. And from there, basically it spiked up towards 577,000 active addresses on the Ethereum network, right? Unfortunately, we have not been able to see a higher high yet on this metric. So based on this metric, we cannot really tell whether Ethereum is leaning bullish or bearish yet. I mean, when we look at the number of new addresses being created on the network, right? So we do see the huge spike that basically happened between October 4th and October 6th, right? Where Ethereum went from an average of 65,000 addresses being created on October 4th and to then jump more than 100% towards 140,000 addresses created on the network, right? What I would like to see, right? Or although this is a higher high compared to the high that basically Ethereum made in June 28th, I would like to see another high above 140,000, basically to confirm that, yeah, I mean that the retail investors are coming in and there is a renewed interest in this coin, right? So until that happens, I will remain on the silence base on this on-chain metric right now. When I look at the demand barriers and supply barriers ahead of Ethereum, I believe that we have talked about it for a long time, right? That I was basically looking at a close above $3,200, and from that point, I'll become a Ethereum super mega bull, right? And that's what's happening right now. I actually bought a lot of Ethereum as it closed above 3,200 because that was the only major supply barrier that I saw ahead of it, right? As you guys can see here, there is no significant resistance ahead of Ethereum right now, which, could potentially lead to a new all-time high, right? Of course, we'll have to first break above the psychological $4,000 barrier before we can be talking about new all-time highs. But I do believe that Ethereum right now faces little to no opposition to continue marching forwards, right? Of course, as a second level of confirmation now, from an option perspective, I mean, the first level of confirmation that I have for my own personal trade was basically a daily close above 3,200, which that already happened. I went full on, I literally deploy a lot of money in there when that happened. And now from an on-chain perspective, I would like to see a higher high in the number of new addresses going in, I mean, being created on the Ethereum network, right? So I can be a little bit more comfortable with my long position on Ethereum. Now, the other on-chain dynamics look really good. I mean, we did see a significant increase in the number of Ethereum tokens being sent to exchanges, right? Where it rose basically from 18.84 million in September 29th to a high of 90 million on September 6th. But since then, right, due to the upward price action, basically it seems like once again, market participants are basically removing their tokens from exchanges as they expect, further upward price action. So this significant decrease right here in the number of Ethereum tokens being held on exchanges also has me a little bit bullish. And then, I mean, the network right now is, I mean, based on this red line right here that you guys can see, is the network is starting to grow. Again, I would like to see a higher high on this red line right here to basically confirm that now the network is expanding, so that I can basically, sleep tight and do not be thinking about, my long Ethereum position at night, right? Because as of right now, based on the amount of enthusiasm and the greed that is in the market, I am a little bit concerned that a potential, correction could happen, basically to shake off all the weak hands to then send prices higher, right? Um, uh, but but as of right now, yeah, I mean, once again, I don't see any significant resistance ahead of Ethereum right now from an on-chain perspective. I mean, from a psychological perspective, I do believe that 4,000 is going to play a key role. But yeah, I mean, I'm bullish on Ethereum right now. What are you seeing from a technical perspective, Jonathan?
Yeah, I mean it's in a position now. When you look at it, the I have this kind of arrow drawn because when you draw a fib expansion from the swing low on July 21st to the high on September 3rd, and then our most recent swing low on 21st September, the 618 fib expansion is at roughly right at 4,500, so just a hair above where the all-time high is at. But then above that, though, and it may not even halt there, the 100% extension where things usually get to in any fib expansion move is at 6,200. And when you're talking about not a lot of anything stopping it, there's not. Above the all-time high, it's in price discovery mode. And I mean, if you want a good example of what price discovery mode looks like, look at Solana, because that just kept moving up and up and up. And price discovery mode is fancy speak for saying nobody has any idea where the heck it's going, but it's likely just to continue up. Markets move in the path of least resistance, and there is really nothing above 4,300. It's a wide open space that could keep going. I'm going to echo again that short term, I'm a little cautious on how much higher it can go, just because there is very clear a hidden bearish divergence. You look at the peak on September 3rd, and then where the current peak is at here in October 8th. You compare those to the peaks in the composite index. We've got a higher high in the composite index now compared to what we did back on that September date, and it's a very marginal high. Those kinds of like almost imperceptible highs and with hidden bearish divergences are kind of a warning signal. Additionally, you got the optics bands coming up here, and while I don't have the RSI shifted into bear market territory, it is struggling up against that last overbought condition in a bear market at 65. And I know it's probably like something I'm just keep repeating over the last couple of weeks, is that there's just a lot of evidence of some topping pressure coming in. Bitcoin has mostly negated that, but a lot of the altcoin market has not. And that should be a cause of concern by itself, because if the altcoin market continues to underperform or even lose in performance against Bitcoin, that's not a sign of strength. That is a sign that capital is abandoning the speculative side of cryptocurrencies, going into safety like Bitcoin, which is also being converted back into cash. And so that could be a rotation of capital that we don't want to see. But I'm a GAN analyst primarily. I guess really would not expect to see a major turnaround in the market until late October, early November, time cycle wise. Second week of November might be where we see a major turn in the market, possibly. That's 180 days from the prior all-time high. Likely to see some action around November 9th to November 12th or so. That does it for me. I think but also one more thing is that as far as trading perspective goes, as far as opportunities for, major gains on the long or the short side of the market, Ethereum does not represent a very good opportunity at all. This is the relative rotation graph and the benchmark is Bitcoin. The closer something is to the center where Bitcoin is at, the less of an opportunity you have from a trading perspective. And Ethereum's one of the closest to the center there. It's just not a very good, it's just not a very good, there's better options out there, is what I'm saying. As far as, if you're going to be speculating in the short term, Ethereum does not present a very good opportunity for that. So that's all I've got there.
Okay, so basically, you're leaning bullish, but you're also a little bit cautious of that the market looks a little bit toppy to you right now. Is that right?
Yes, the altcoin market as a whole shows evidence that the move up that is currently happening is not an honest one. And in order for it to be considered what I would consider kind of an honest move, it needs to have its breakout happen very soon. It's getting very top heavy in its oscillators relative to its past price action.
Okay. And now, the other question that I have for you is, so as of right now, you will stay outside of Ethereum, or what will trigger your next Ethereum trade?
Ethereum's point and figure charts are really kind of all over the place. I mean, it's really kind of a sloppy chart. I mean, it's a very kind of like trudging move higher. And I mean, when you get this, it's not like Bitcoin's chart, all right? When you got this kind of major significant breakout within the Ichimoku system, and there's a huge gap between the current close and the Tenkan-sen. And the Ichimoku system does not tolerate gaps between the Tenkan-sen and the close for very long periods of time. And when I mean long periods of time, anything extended beyond 4 to 5 periods, whether it's a monthly chart or a 1-minute chart, you get a mean reversion down here usually very soon, which is we're right at that point. And what we're not seeing is this is one of the most bullish types of setups in Ichimoku, where you get the lagging span above the cloud and the candlesticks, you get the close above the cloud. There should be a lot of, positive price action here. There should be a lot of people just kind of rushing towards the door, like Black Friday here in the States, a bunch of morons sitting outside of a store all looking for a deal on some candy bars or something. It should look like that. It doesn't. What it looks like is a whole bunch of people on Black Friday going, I don't want to go in there yet. This doesn't look very good. So it's the price action is not mirroring the momentum that you see in the news and in social media. Everybody screaming to the moon. That's not happening in the altcoin market. It's happening with some altcoins, but broadly, it's not. Is what I'm saying.
Okay. But yeah, because like from an on-chain perspective, what the on-chains tell me is that as long as Ethereum continues to trade above $3,200, right, basically target new all-time highs, right? That's what the on-chains tell me, right? But of course, losing $3,200 as support, right? Let's say Ethereum goes down to, I would say next loss could be around $3,000, then I will get a little bit worried, right? So would the same happen to you? I mean, if you were to see basically Ethereum coming down to 3,200, would you be worried about a potential close below this price level? And then if that is the case, what would be your next target?
So the 3,200 level is right where that Tenkan-sen is at on the daily chart. That's where that, I was talking about that gap that exists. That's where it needs to come down to. And then you have the Kijun-sen there as well. I mean, there's a bunch of support Ichimoku-wise in between 2,800 and 3,200. The volume profile, though, is really thin in between 3,200 and then down to 3K. So, I mean, even below 3,200, it has some structure there. But yeah, 3,200, 3,000 to 3,200 is where I would likely see it find some support. below that though, I mean, if this is an ABC drive, all right, and we're at B, then C is all the way down towards a return to 1800-ish. That's where its next swing low would be if it fails to hold support at 2800 to 3K. That's the next major drop.
Okay, that's good to know. That's cool. And then of course for the upside, then of course the first area of resistance would be 4,000, and then of course the all-time high, and then once that's broken, basically
6,200.
Yeah, $6,000. That's good.
Yeah,
I mean $5,000 first, and then 6,000, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, $5,000 might even, I mean, it's a psychological number, but there's its proximity to the prior all-time high suggests that 5K may not even be an area that's tested very much. You may not see a lot of stopping pressure there. You might not see stopping pressure come in until that 6,200, 6,500 value area.
Okay, that's really good. That's really good to see. So yeah, I mean, it seems that, but yeah, I mean, right now you basically will not recommend, you know, people to enter right now Ethereum. You will rather wait for that potential retest of the $3,200 level before prices, you know, before you can determine whether prices are going to continue going up or they're just going to go down. Is that right?
Right. But I will say, maybe to like better summarize what I'm looking at, I see the likelihood of it moving to all-time highs much higher, a much higher probability than I see it dipping and remaining below 3K.
Okay, that's good to know. Now, Akash, do you wanna cover your long-term perspective?
Definitely. Right. So you're going to be happy with what I have to say, Ali, since you just bought a big bag of ETH. Right. From the short-term perspective, what I'm looking at is a potential formation of a double top here. And if that forms, then I'm expecting a retracement down to this zone here, ranging from 2.7K to 3.2K. Although I want to see how it reacts to the 3K level here. So this is the first thing, right? And the second thing I want to point out as to why I'm expecting this short-term move is, again, the 365 MERV, which is like extremely high, which is at 60% right now. So a sell-off could be on its way, like well on its way, right? But apart from these two metrics, right, everything else for Ethereum points to like bullish outlook, right? Look at, there's really no resistance level after 3,800 for ETH, and the addresses are like forming a higher high while the price is forming a lower low. This is a bullish divergence between price and daily active addresses, which tends to play out quite a lot. And yeah, so my first scenario is going to come down here, retest this, and then probably go higher. Get into this zone, 3.8K to roughly 4,000. Once we get above the 4,000 psychological level, I think it's going to be an easy break above the all-time high and then a move higher. This is my first scenario. And second scenario, assuming the drop doesn't actually happen, then I want to see Ethereum close well above this and then use this as a support to propel higher, again 4K, and then a move higher. I don't, at least for now, I don't see it having a lot of trouble surpassing the all-time high. So this is like my short-term perspective. As for my bullish targets, I am looking at this cup and handle formation. So let me just hide this for now. So there's a little bit of gap over here, should have come all the way up here, but it didn't happen. Regardless, I think this still is a valid, an almost valid, a perfect cup and handle pattern I'm looking at. Yeah, again, same here, right? So we could see something like this happen, but eventually we're going to go higher, break this. So theoretically speaking, I think it's probably going to go to like 10K if you measure it from a bottom to up here. But if we use that, just 1 second, right? So really, it doesn't really change a lot of stuff out here if I use this declined trend line. right? Which probably comes around to $4,000 level, or roughly $3,800 $4,000 level. Kind of coincides with what I'm looking at here from an IO map perspective. So apart from that, I think 10K seems really plausible for me, since it's the fourth quarter, and usually you see massive moves come up in fourth quarter. So yeah, this is
Okay. So basically, you're a full Ethereum bull then.
yeah, much more
Okay.
bullish on
Okay.
Ethereum than Bitcoin.
Interesting. And what would invalidate your bullish perspective? Basically, a move below the handle.
So it isn't an invalidation per se, because like even if we come down below 3,200, I think there's a reasonable amount, like at least I believe that it could bounce off the 3,000 psychological level. But even if it doesn't, I don't think it's a problem. We can like form a triple bottom here, kind of like how we did here during this crash. So like anything above 2.7K, 2.8K, I think is still there's a good chance that we still run out and go to like, at least like 6.2K, if not 10K, like how Jonathan mentioned.
Okay. Okay. That's good to know. Well, that's good. I mean, it seems that we're all a little bit bullish on Ethereum. I mean, there is of course a little bit of potential for a downswing that I do believe that it could be capped at around $3,200, right? And then that will basically present the perfect opportunity to buy Ethereum if you haven't done so, to then target new all-time highs on the way up. The 4,000 psychological level is probably going to present some resistance as well as the previous all-time high. And I mean, I do believe that 5,000 could also pose a little bit of resistance. But yeah, I mean, Akash and Jonathan believe that the move could be higher. Akash, I believe, is targeting, I mean, for the conservative target, I believe it's something around $6,000, which coincides with what Jonathan is targeting. And for the most bullish target is around $10,000, a $10,000 Ethereum. So yeah, that's actually pretty impressive and pretty nice, especially for all of those that are watching this channel, and we could all see Ethereum rise at the same time. So once again, as long as $3,200 holds, the outlook will remain extremely bullish. Failing to hold above that level could potentially lead to a downswing towards 2,700 or so. But we do believe that yeah, 3,200 is going to hold, and Ethereum will continue to advance further. So yeah, make sure to continue keeping an eye on Ethereum, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Twitter so we can continue updating you about some of these cryptocurrencies.